Hey guys, welcome to the Unleash podcast brought to you by Hidden Gene, where we talk about how to unleash your hidden potential. I'm your host, Yuri Diogenes, and we have episode 0 to start with, feature the one and only Greg McCoy. Thank you for being here today, Greg.
Hey, Yuri, man, it's my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Oh, before we jump into today's topics, I would like to invite you to subscribe to this podcast on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify. Also, you can always find these podcasts at Hidden Gene website, hiddengene.net. And if you live close by the area, make sure to visit our gym and grab a free trial pass in the website. All right, so episode 0, Greg McCoy. Um, so let's talk about what Unleash podcast is really about. Give us your idea behind this project.
Yeah, sure. I appreciate you asking. And the one of the themes that we're using at Hidden Gem this year and moving ahead is to unleash your hidden potential. We believe that everybody's got a potential inside of them, and we would like to be a source for how to unlock that hidden potential. If that's losing body fat, if that's learning how to fight, unleashing your hidden fighter, unleashing your hidden strength. We have these kind of themes that we're going to go with. And what better way to help people unleash their hidden potential than through the popular platform of podcasting?
Yeah, no, I think it's amazing because not only it helps the members of the gym to really see that they can also unleash their own potential, but also has a broader reach because now you can have people in different states, different countries that can realize, wow, I might have this hidden potential. I didn't realize that. So that's pretty cool as well.
Yeah, anytime we do anything, we always ask, does this serve our core values? And our core values at Hidden Gem are education, community, and philanthropy. And so, with this podcast in mind, it was like, can we educate people with the podcast? Okay, check. Like, people are going to learn how to better their fitness level,
Hmm.
better their lives, and unleash their hidden potential using this platform. Um, does it check the box of community? Of course, like I just wish, and honestly, it's not no longer going to be a wish. This will help make it a reality. But I'm in the gym day in and day out, and I hear these just absolutely amazing stories that no one's ever going to hear. These people that are changing their lives, and of course, maybe their family hears about it, but these aren't, professional athletes that are going to be on ESPN, but
Hmm.
nonetheless, they're doing something incredible. So this podcast will give us a platform to lift those stories out, and I'm hoping that when we do that, that there will be people that find those very relatable, and can use that as a place to learn. So I really think it helps the community in a lot of different ways, highlighting stories, and establishing online friendships and influences as we bring these stories to life.
Oh yeah, it makes total sense, and I think you talk about professional athletes. Sometimes professional athletes are very inspiring, but many people they want to have the regular Joe or the regular Barb or whoever it is that they want to inspire by regular people, because sometimes the professional athlete when he is on that level there's a huge infrastructure around him to make sure that he is eating his food in the right time, that he is training, that he can recover. Well, I don't have that infrastructure. I have to work all day long. Sometimes I'm tired, but how can I find some other people that are able to get the work done day in day out when they have just a regular life, 8 to 5 type of job, and they still need to address their physical wishes, whatever it is. As you said, just losing some body fat, just stay healthy. It could be any goal.
Yeah, and it's there's just so many inspiring people that I think the stories that will come out of this and give people a chance. And most of these people Not that we won't have professional athletes on the podcast, not to say that, because we certainly will. But a lot of these our members and things are very accessible, so I know it's going to be a fun interaction. This gets the conversation started,
Yep, yep.
and and then kind of checking the box of philanthropy. I know that anything we do, we try to find a way to use it to give back. So whether that's highlighting a mission, we work with philanthropies if they want a place to to air their vision, if it's something that we're working on, or these are great platforms, for creating sponsorships and being able to help with resources. So with the podcast, it was, does it check all three boxes of our core values, and all three were a pretty big yes. So we really wanted to move ahead with it, and it's exciting for me because we created the brand Hidden Gym, my wife and I, in March of 2019.
Hmm.
So we're right at 2 years here, and the brand has grown extremely fast, and now to the point where I get to invite someone like yourself, to host a podcast on behalf of Hidden Gym. So it's really fun. Like, in the beginning of a business, you do literally everything. You do everything from unlock the door to lock it at night, to clean, to pay the bills, to sell it, to market it. Like, you're doing it
Yeah.
all. And so it's fun now, that I can involve more and more people as the brand grows, and to get to have someone like yourself to be able to host on our behalf is a super exciting kind of growth
Oh,
step.
and I'm extremely proud, honor to be part of this project. I really appreciate the opportunity. I've been working with you for more than 10 years now, in one way or the other. We had many partnerships in different areas, and this is just one more that I felt very honored to be invited, to be honest.
Yeah, this was part of what I wanted to do with episode 0, was really do a proper introduction of you. Because why, who is Yuri and why is he hosting the Hidden Gym podcast? And let's answer that question now, right? So, if you guys want, there's another version of Yuri and I's story. We did a podcast episode together on Real McCoy Radio called "How I Lost 100 Pounds." And we talk about, Yuri and I met in 2011 at a bodybuilding show. I was competing. One of my clients was a friend of Yuri's, and he was competing, and Yuri was there. Yuri, in your own words, why were you at the bodybuilding show that day?
Uh, well, I was obese at that time, and I really wanted to compete. And Ruben introduced me to you because he said, "Well, this guy can really help you to get to the stage, you know." And I was like, "Well, okay, let's do it." I was very excited, and it was great, great experience since day one.
Yeah, and so just to fast forward, because we could tell a lot of stories, but we, as trainer and client, successfully lost 100 pounds, and you went from an obese, tunnel vision Microsoft employee to still an excellent Microsoft employee, authoring over 20 books now, but achieving your goal of competing and winning on a bodybuilding stage. Since then, you've won, several tournaments in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So, your ability for personal accomplishment has been incredible. So I think I just want people to know who they're talking to and who they're listening to as we do these podcast episodes, because you're coming from such a cool place. And I think it's, one, you walk the walk, which is always important, because as a podcast host, it will be your goal or job to extract stories from these inspiring people, and from someone that relates to people that haven't started their journey,
Yep.
all the way to the professional athlete. You have an understanding of both sides of the table, I think.
Yeah, and what I think is very important as well is to ensure that people that are listening to the show, they understand that for you, if you are looking for longevity, and if you are looking to sustain your gains in the long term, you really need to change your mindset to transform your life from that life that you used to have to a healthy lifestyle. So, what I'm trying to say actually is the only reason I'm still doing what I do is because I completely changed from that day, completely changed the mindset that now I have this lifestyle that I want to carry on for the rest of my life, right? So it's not a summer diet, it's not a seasonal type of training, it's a longevity that you are looking for.
Yeah, yeah, that's great, man. And I know that that you can preach that and pull out all of these excellent lessons and stories, so that with each episode of the Unleashed podcast, people can learn and apply and push themselves into the next chapter of their fitness journey. And you started your own podcast, out of just a very Yuri move, right? Like you broke your foot in kind of a freak accident in a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu tournament, but you don't sit still well. So you started the Overcome
Yeah,
podcast about how to overcome injuries.
yeah.
And I was very exciting. I was glad that you did it, because I know it's going to help keep you positive. But you've really done well as a podcast host, and I've been impressed. One, at the speed at which you turn around episodes, but two, you're having some great guests and creating some great content.
Yeah, no, I felt extremely lucky that I have a diverse circle of people that I can reach out from the bodybuilding, from the judo, from the Brazilian jiu-jitsu, and I met people throughout this injury from other sports as well, rugby, soccer. I met a soccer player in Ireland that had the same injury online, and she spent some time talking about her injury as well. So things happen for a reason. I'm still not 100% yet. I'm still overcoming. I didn't really finish that process yet. It's a long-term injury that I'm still fighting to get back to where it was, but I'm in a much better place than I was 4 months ago when I had the surgery. But this is really important. In the podcast, you don't realize, but you reach so many people because it's available in all platforms. Just like the Unleash will be available in all platforms: Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Overcast. I mean, you name it, right? It's really impressive that you can distribute all that content, and people with a smartphone or just a browse website, they can listen and they can get ideas. That's why podcast is growing so fast nowadays, because of the accessibility.
Yeah, no. So let's talk a bit about our release schedule.
hmm
So you and I have decided upon a release schedule. Tell people about when they can look forward to the upcoming episodes of Unleashed.
Yeah, we are planning to have every other week, right? Which means if you think about a month, it'll be twice a month. We are going live with the episode 0, and then we already have guest lineups for episode 1 and 2, and there'll be many other guests along the way. So every other week we're gonna release a new on Mondays. Every Monday of other week we're gonna release the episodes. That way it keeps the cadence, and also when to expect a new episode. You say, well, it's Monday. And today is the day to release a new episode. So if you subscribe on Spotify, for example, you're gonna get a notification on your phone that there is a new episode of Unleash podcast just released. Of course, there will be also a video version at Hidden Gem YouTube channel, where people can watch it if they want to see the guest's face and they just want to see the video. So you can also subscribe to the Hidden Gem YouTube channel as well.
Yeah, man, it's really exciting, and I think it's cool. Me and you personally to shift. You have done a great job at telling your own story, and you tell bits and pieces of your story, whether that's your story as an immigrant or your story as a professional or your story as an athlete. And of course, you're going to continue to tell that story. but now moving to a position to help other people tell theirs.
Hmm.
I think is a cool transition for you.
Yeah, yeah, yes. Because
Moving ahead.
sometimes people they have a lot to offer, but they never really have someone to explore their thoughts and how they accomplish something. And some people are shy to just share, right? So I think I'm able to extract that information and ask the right questions and make sure that the person feel safe to express and share what they think about their journey. And each guest, we are looking for a particular strength that they can offer. So one thing that you will notice is that we're not going to have repetitive stories because each person is its own universe, but each person we are also focusing on their own strengths.
Yeah, and I really, you and I have discussed this at length, but I really want each episode, for listeners to come away with some real tangible things that they can put into application. So, we while we will interview, we also want to make sure that we keep the listeners first.
Hmm.
So, of course, like one of the best ways to learn this is through storytelling, but also to not get wrapped up in telling the story, but to make sure that there's some real takeaways. Because I think if we serve our listeners that if that's priority one, then everyone's going to be happy. So hopefully, listeners, if you guys are hearing now that you're going to be priority one, hopefully that's a good sign for what's ahead with the Unleashed podcast.
Oh yeah, definitely. We want to make sure that the listeners are not learning from the guests' experience, but we have some key takeaways that we want to share as well. And this can be, for example, we will see on episode one. The guest, he is going to cover some body parts that he worked to improve, like shoulders in his case. Then we have episode two that is more focused on legs, and it will be a theme. There is always going to be a theme for the episode according to the guest background and everything, and that's what I think is very unique. Is that we're going to try to extract that core uniquenesses on each guest, and then share broadly some other subjects as well. I like this approach.
And it's been, over, as a gym owner now, 12 years. It's crazy. That's the number. But to have all of these different athletes under one roof, it's always been kind of a goal of mine to let the athletes mix together in a positive way because, prior to Metroflex Plano, you had powerlifting gyms or powerlifters lifting mainly in garages, at least in this area. And then there was a few gyms known for bodybuilding, and then there was the big box gyms. And as Metroflex Plano, when I moved that to destination, and I tried to open it up mainly to bodybuilding, powerlifting, and strongman. And now to Hidden Gym, introducing more sports like boxing and your more traditional athletics, Olympic lifting, CrossFit, all of these type of
Yeah,
things. The
you
rub
are
off.
even able to make bodybuilders like CrossFit, which is pretty pretty rare, right?
Yeah, I should get a trophy for that
Yeah.
one. But that's exactly it, right? If those groups don't talk, they're all learning incredible things about training.
Yeah.
They're all pushing our collective knowledge about training forward. But if they don't talk, then they don't benefit each other. And I think this podcast is just one more kind of melting pot for ideas because there's so much to the sport, right? Like
Hmm.
getting strong. People come at that from different angles. Recovery is such a huge topic, whether you're talking about sleep or supplementation or massage therapy, cryo. There's all kinds of these
Yeah.
um, small things that someone within our community is very good at and has used.
Hmm.
And if we can start to harness that, collective, mindset, it's a really cool thing. So I think our subscribers are in for a treat as we, cherry pick out these people that have used this knowledge to unleash their hidden potential and are able to pass it on. So, I think the library of information that you end up with at the end is going to be pretty
Yeah,
cool.
and even different training styles. Because, for example, you nowadays you are pretty big on hit workout. It's something
Hmm.
that 10 years ago you were not there. Yeah,
Yep.
actually, you were doing the traditional steady cardio just to keep your cardio on days. But nowadays, hit is part of your routine, and this is something that you learn as you evolve throughout the sport and with the people that you met.
Yeah, exactly. The training that I'm doing now is very much a influence from, my training partner, Jeremy Yablonski, NHL player, um, mixed with my own studies, as becoming a certified conditioning coach, and then, just what you learn about the body. And then, of course, my number one guinea pig is me, so I'm always trying new things. But yeah, it is. I am. An evolution of my surrounding, much like we all are. So that's exactly to my point. I'm a member as much as I am the
Yeah,
owner.
and the very interesting thing, because when I worked with Greg 10 years ago, we were doing the traditional bodybuilding type of training, and we never really thought or were concerned about measuring heart rate or anything like that. And on our last prep prior to my injury, he forced me to buy a heart rate monitor, because he said, "How can you measure your cardio if you not have a heart rate monitor?" So he convinced me to buy one because I
Can
had to measure.
let's how many emails did this require? We should point this out.
Yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot of bouncing back emails. But it's something that it really helps when you start looking closely and you start looking at the results. And at Hidden Gene, you have so many other type of measurements. You did something, I think it was last month, in January maybe.
Yep.
There was a whole day of different tests and everything. That was pretty amazing, and there is a rationale behind each one of those tests, and it really helps.
Yeah, that's an area that we're growing in, and it's going to be more and more a part of our kind of standard process moving forward. But we had a baseline testing week, which was a week at Hidden Gym where you could come and you could get your body fat tested, you could get your lean muscle tested, you could get your metabolism tested, both your resting and your active metabolism. We would do a strength test on you and cardiovascular test on you, so you could get a variety of bits of information. And it's really important, if we're gonna, because like obviously our goal is to improve the results of our members. How do we do that? Well, I believe, and I've learned this, for myself and working with clients, that you get a good set of baseline information. This is where I am. This is starting point. It's not just this like this guess in the wind of where I'm starting, and then we make a plan, you follow plan, we check, make sure there's progress or not, and then further the plan from there. So, it's been one thing that, we've done as personal trainers, but to do that, kind of for an entire facility, I think is new and will be, at the benefit of our members and future members.
Yeah, I think is very unique. But now let me ask you this: what made you change to have this approach? Because you were not always like that, right? As you didn't have this approach in the past. It was something that as you learn through books, or do you have a huge influence, or someone that applied to you? You had a coach that applied this to you, and you saw results. How that came to fruition?
Yeah, I think it's like anything, right? The longer you do something, the better it gets, the more kind of sophisticated your methods become. So, over 12 years and you're just working every day to make things better, you start to evolve. And yeah, I think everything you listed is I got stuff from all of that. I mean, I'm an avid reader, just like yourself. I think I'm, somewhere in the 130 books read. and I'm always picking up little things from different sources. And I usually get at least two certifications per year, and I'm around. Just this past 2 years, I've been around some of the most amazing um, trainers and coaches that I think I've ever been exposed to, and to see the way that they're training trainers and the way they're impacting the industry, you start to really learn some lessons and apply that to your own clients or your own
Hmm.
gym, and see like, wow, I really could see how this thing that this guy's doing could apply here and really make a big change. So it's just always you're just always grabbing best practices and trying them, and sometimes they suck and you never do them again, and sometimes they're
Yeah.
excellent, but that's like you just always trying to push it forward and evolve it and shine it up and sharpen it, and as it progresses it just gets better and
Yeah,
better.
and all those things are things that we are going to try to also surface throughout the episodes of Unleash podcast. So even if you are not in the area to train at Hidden Gem, you will have some tools that can help you. There is tons of material at Hidden Gem website. I know that you are revamping the website to also add some blogs and everything. So from the community perspective, you're doing your work on the website to make sure that you educate people on that as well.
Yeah, and that's the way that we're evolving is a way that can be, we can help members in the gym and out of the gym, and that would also include remote members. And it's a very exciting thing for fitness in general that remote programming is becoming a very normal thing. I know 10
Mainly
years
after
ago,
COVID, right? Because a lot of after
yeah,
COVID, a lot of people were just not able to go to the gym at all.
yeah, I think, well, it was already trending that way, and COVID just like advanced it, like, probably at least 2 years. Because now there's, when I was training clients remote, and definitely like, I'm not, I've only been in this 12 years. There's people doing it before me. I always go back to listening to a funny story of Hani Rambod, who is, a top level bodybuilding coach, talking about prepping clients, and they're mailing him a disposable camera. They would take their progress pictures and put the disposable camera in the mail.
Wow.
He would go to Eckerd's and or whatever and get the pictures processed, and then he'd call them with their diet updates. So remote training has been going on, but now we're at a stage where there's all these excellent apps. YouTube allows you to teach proper form in all over the world, easily. So the proliferation of information is so much easier. So yeah, it's very realistic that someone from really anywhere in the world could be following a hidden gym program and wearing a hidden gym
Hmm.
T-shirt. You can kind of unleash your hidden potential wherever you're at, and that's something that will continue, an area will continue to grow
Yeah,
in.
and as you said, COVID only pushed this to be faster because, as I said, there are even in the United States there are some gyms that are not open yet. I know some states that gyms are still not able to open. So people are trying to stay in shape, working out at home, and sometimes YouTube will help finding videos and everything. But there is a big difference between looking for a very generic video rather than having a program that was written for your specific needs.
Yeah, of course. There's always a place for the coach and the expert, because curating information isn't easy. The more information that gets onto the internet every single day, it can be dangerous in the wrong
Mm.
hands. So that's where the value of a coach or a gym of trusted coaches, can help you curate this information and put it together, because just as we cover topics on the Unleashed podcast, it can get to be overwhelming. You're hearing all these people doing all these different things, and how do I apply this to me? And there's a lot of value for someone to sit down with you and say, yeah, this you should do this, but not that. It's not the right time for this, but you should have already been thinking about that,
Hmm. Yeah.
to guide you there to make sure you get from A to B.
And just to wrap up, if the individual that is listening to this podcast is not a member, he doesn't live in the DFW area, and he wants to hire a coach to help him. Is this something available at the Hidden Gene website?
It's a little decentralized right now. Right now, yes, you can go to hiddengym.net, you can contact us, and we can place you with a coach. The what we're working on is a more centralized version where you could go through the Hidden Gym consultation process. You'll be on the Hidden Gym app, and we'll select a program
Hmm.
for you and follow up with you on those checkpoints. So right now, we're doing it in a kind of a decentralized way where you'll be working with a Hidden Gym coach that's kind of an independent
Hmm.
operator. But we're moving in a way where it'll be a little more centralized, and we're moving there fast. So, probably if you're listening to this podcast, 6 months from now, it might already be
Yeah,
available.
yeah. So visit the website to make sure that you have the latest information there. All right, Greg. Thank you very much for joining today. Um, I'm really excited about this project. I think it will be amazing. The lineup looks great, and I think we have a chance to reach out to people and help them to unleash their potential.
Yeah, you couldn't have summed it up any better. So thank you, Yuri. I'm very proud to have you as the host of the Unleashed podcast, and I'm excited to see what we're gonna do with this
All
platform.
right, that's a wrap. Make sure to subscribe to Unleash Podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Hidden Gene YouTube channel. See you next time.